You know, Tank leaving PBC or the platform, it's just, if you're going to have a guy, and everyone's talking about Cruz against Gervonta did 100,000 or less. Listen, whether it done 200,000, I don't really care. It's not my business. But he's never going to hit 800 or 1 million without fighting Ryan Garcia, without fighting Devin Haney, without fighting Lomachenko. And they're all guys that aren't with the PBC.
Those are the words of Eddie Hearn as he prophesies, lays down the reality of Tank Davis. And he states that Tank Davis will never do the numbers that he needs to do without fighting the fighters that he needs to fight. And those fighters, unfortunately, are not with the PBC and Al Heyman, Showtime, etc., etc. Let me counterpunch. What Eddie Hearn said is exactly what I've been saying for the last 6 months to a year concerning Tank Davis. Okay, really about 2 to 3, but as far as these, like the 4 kings or whatever they're supposed to be in the lightweight division, Tank's problem is Tank is being filtered. Okay, he's being carried, and the fighters that he's fighting will not get him where he needs to be. He's showing that he is a good fighter based on who he's fighting. Does he look good doing it? Yeah. You call those type of fights showcase fights. So we've seen showcase fights of Tank. We've seen smaller guys come up. We've seen him knock them down and out. Okay? And we've seen a lot of that. But the problem is we've seen too much of that based on the age, based on the supposed experience that Tank Davis has in the ring. You know, training with legend Floyd Money Mayweather. Mayweather. And we've seen that. But what we haven't seen diversity. We haven't seen challenge. You know, we've seen difficulty, you know, somewhat, because a guy that was a replacement, which is Isaac Pitbull Cruz, we've seen him go in there and get injured with that fighter. So we've seen an injured version of Gervonta, but, you know, that's really not good enough based on the numbers. Floyd Money Mayweather said it himself. It's all about the numbers. What kind of numbers is he bringing? That's exactly what Eddie Hearn was talking about. What type of numbers is Gervonta Tank Davis really bringing in? The type of numbers that you don't want to talk about. The type of numbers that you don't want to disclose to the public. Those type of numbers. Okay? That's what's going on with Gervonta Tank Davis right now. And as you heard Eddie Hearn say, like, hey, he's not going to get those numbers regardless of what he thinks he's doing. So that should tell you something about the outfit that promotes and manages Gervonta. So at some point, Gervonta Tank Davis has to realize, if he ever does, hopefully he does, when will I go to the next level? Because eventually, social media is an engine. It's a beast. It's an organism, okay? That it never stops. It never stops. It's around when you sleep, eat, die. It's going to stay the same. It's going to stay constantly going, okay? Along with narratives, along with realities, right? Lies, truths, whatever. It still keeps going. But if enough people from social media and enough talk, if it keeps remaining saying that Gervonta's a bum, he ain't fighting nobody, ain't doing this and that, you can only so long be comfortable in your own skin. And I think that may happen to Gervonta, because regardless of what people think, regardless of people with their egos or whatever, the money they think they have and all this, and chauffeur rides and all that, Bentleys and Escalades, and eventually something on social media will get to Gervonta Tank Davis. You stay on it too much. If you respond to certain people's tweets and this, that, and the other, it bothers you. Okay, people say silence is golden, you know, the new rule of Errol Spence. But if you're responding back, obviously something had to grind your gears, had to get under your skin. Okay? So eventually that will bother him, hopefully enough to make him want to change. Okay, and guys like Devin Haney, guys like Ryan Garcia, guys like even like Teofimo Lopez, you know, he's just taking his first loss. But those type of guys will have to be explored if he calls himself the pound-for-pound cash cow, which is an utter lie. Okay, that is the biggest lie that people has fed us. And the people, that's Leonard Elerbie, Floyd, Money Mayweather. But why would they do that? Because they manage Tank Davis. They want you to believe that. That's not the truth. The truth is PBC is going through financial problems with Al Heyman. That's why every possible fight they could ever make will be on pay-per-view because they want us to pay for it. Plain and simple. So it's not greener. That grass is not greener on the other side over there. Okay? They just want you to think that, but it's not. You know, and sadly to say, maybe the fact they don't want to cross over because they don't want to admit the type of money and the resources and the budget they're really dealing with. Okay, that's probably one of the worst problems because Elerbie already said that, hey, we won't pay Tank the money that Eddie Hearn pays Devin Haney. Okay, so if, you know, manipulation is great, but is it reverence in that? Is it integrity in manipulation? Not really. You know, if you feed off a person's ignorance, you know, and mental instability to really think like, what did Floyd do when he was my age at age 27? How much money was he making? What type of money was he bringing in? Was he bringing in anything like these checks that I'm receiving? Those are the type of things that Gervonta Tank Davis needs to be thinking about. And if he ain't, that's the problem. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn and his comments towards Gervonta Tank Davis. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunching. Peace.